Let's do this Dinesh D'Souza thing, and then we can go into the scatter.
The only skinny repeal I'd vote for would be a surgery for Blake Farenthold. Boom. Dropped it. Jimmy Dore rules. Fuck all of you.
Okay, so Dinesh D'Souza was at a Scared Straight meeting where he was speaking to students to tell them to be very cautious of election contribution rules because, particularly if there is an anti-colonialist who is in charge of the government at any given point. Is that what was going on here? Was it a Scared Straight thing, or is it? He's got a book out. Oh, this is where he celebrates where he celebrates lying. Oh no, okay, here it is. Here is. Oh, that's weird. Up in the corner there, have liberals turn their back on liberal values? Where have I heard that before?
A certain relentlessly stupid YouTube host. Put my video back up. Stop violating my free speech.
All right, here is Dinesh D'Souza taking a question from a student.
Part of the fascism that you were talking about is how you said that it kind of moved from, we can't have them die for, I forgot the cause exactly, but we can have them die for the idea of country. And I'm a little bit confused, and I'm hoping you can clarify this, because part of just focusing on Trump, a lot of his branding was about America. Make America great again. The America First ideology that says before everything else comes the country, the nation.
Let me restate your question slightly. You're saying Trump is an outright nationalist. Make America great again. Wasn't Mussolini an outright nationalist? Wasn't Hitler make Germany great again? Right? That's the thrust of your argument. When you try to identify a phenomenon, always ask, what is it about that phenomenon that is distinctive? Not only what is characteristic, but what is distinctive, because that's going to define the phenomenon at its core, right? So that's the point. Nationalism is in fact characteristic of fascism, but nationalism is equally found on the left, as all the anti-colonial liberation movements were without exception nationalistic. They all they wanted to make Ghana great again, and they wanted to make India great again. So the fact that they were nationalistic by itself does not make them in any way fascist.
Now, this apparently is supposed to be a sales pitch for his book, and presumably is supposed to somehow, maybe he's excited about the idea of to describe a phenomenon, look for the difference as opposed to the similarities. I'm also thinking about, if we're going to look for the difference, yes, there's nationalism. You know what else was there? People had two legs, and most of the people had two legs, and they all seemed to defecate from their buttocks and urinate from the front side. But that's not really the point. It's his way of, I think, avoiding the fact that I think that the India First movement had more to do with the fact that they didn't want to be colonialized and occupied.
Many people are saying...
That's what he's saying. He sounds like how he's like a professor, how he wants to sound.
It's all about cadence. It's all about cadence.
Yes.
And he's using the right
structure. You know where you learn that cadence?
At school?
Oh, man. Cell block C. It's really rough there, and if you don't talk that way, they will stick you with a shiv.
But it's funny because his selective focus on limited similarities is his entire thesis of this book, The Big Lie, which is about how the left is actually responsible for fascism. American left was responsible for fascism, is just about finding this weird similarity that we can draw in history,
of course,
and strip of the rest of historical context.
In fact, everything he's saying is actually belied by what he's saying in that very moment. Exactly. That clip itself is self-refuting.
Many people are saying that India could become great in a certain sense if we spun our own cotton, and the British are coming here and they have many problems. I'm sure some of them are nice people.
I don't know what that what that student was asking at that point, but I suspect that one could make the argument that the intense nationalism is one element of the fascism that Donald Trump represents. The other parts may have to do with the demonization of immigrants, the going to these youth groups and getting them to.
It's a complete category. It's a complete category error. You cannot equate wanting to rid the quote unquote It's an anti-colonial movement versus a nationalist movement.
Well, but you can't be anti-colonial unless you think your nation's worthwhile. Otherwise, you wouldn't mind being completely occupied by a military power that doesn't give you full rights.
And there is Dinesh
country.
D'Souza's gig. I am that guy who would like to advocate that whatever country I came from should be occupied by a military colonial occupying force.
His stupid movie, whatever it's called, like Hillary's a Bitch, it did great. It did great. It was on the Amazon because I look at Amazon movies to buy all the time. It was there for months in the top 10.
Bulk buying always helps.
I would have enjoyed Hillary Was a Bitch if I could stand Dinesh D'Souza's voice.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos